why can I suddenly not do it? Ah! Ah!
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Drinks are on the ass. Ah!
There we are.
Oh, it's true. I read it so. What are you doing?
Greetings, EastEnders fans, and welcome to another episode of Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast. This week, discussing the episode broadcast between the 4th and the 8th of December, 2023. And a Friday episode. When was the last time we had one of them? Thanks for the short notice, BBC, for changing the schedule. Oh my God, the thing, like we've had to jump through hoops to get this recorded today. I hope you're grateful. Yes. Hello, my name's Rob. Welcome to Albert Square After Dark. This lovely lady is Ree. Hi, Ree. How are you this week?
I'm great, Rob. How are you?
Don't lie to me. You're not fine at all. Oh, poor Ree. She's had a right morning, haven't you, love?
Yeah, just one of them days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, you know, mainly because EastEnders gave us no notice.
No,
right?
barely
and we
any.
record this on a Friday morning.
Yeah, we
How
never
are you
do
supposed
that.
to watch the Friday episode? We've only watched it. I've only watched it once. I normally have to watch them twice the way through.
Yeah.
So if we miss anything out from Friday's episode,
Very
blame
sorry.
EastEnders.
Yeah,
Blame
all
BBC
EastEnders' fault. Hey ho. I've had a good old week, haven't I, Ree? I passed my theory test this week. Yes, first time. Yeah.
What,
now all I need to do is pass the practical. I was looking online for a bit of gratification, and apparently, like, just under 50% of people don't pass it the first time. So I was quite thrilled with that. It's quite good.
Yeah, I know loads of people who've had to do it a few times. So well done, Rob.
Thanks.
Bravo.
My smug face is actually smug this week. There we are then. So yeah, I'm pleased about that. So now all I need to do is pass the practical. So that's going to be the fun bit, isn't it?
It's fine.
Yeah, be alright. I'll be driving by this time next year. It'll be marvellous.
Just get
right
your
then.
instructor to do the route before you go. Like,
Yeah, but there's several.
All the possible routes.
There's
Yeah,
several.
well,
yeah. I'll get him up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to practice all the different routes around the town.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
Be alright. Right then, ladies and gents. Fully in December now. We are in the run-up to Christmas Day. We've only got a couple of weeks left until we find out who's on the floor. And oh my goodness me, did we have some confirmation and some interesting information come through this week. We'll discuss that later on. Some surprises are in store, I feel, because we have had an official suspect list of who is going to be on the floor released. We'll discuss that later. But let's get on with this week's Albert Square After Dark. So, busy old week this week. We have much to discuss. We shall start with talking about the aftermath of last week with Suki and Nish and Ravi. And where the hell is Eve? Suki obviously is sort of a bit dazed and confused after all the events that happened last week, not unnoticed by Nish. Do you think there is a smidgen, even a modicum of guilt in Nish about any of this, about how Suki is feeling?
No, not one little bit. No.
Do
you?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily guilt. I think it's more the fact that he knows that Suki doesn't want to be there. I think that's what's really sort of gnawing at him. And the way that we know that, so that he doesn't feel any guilt later on, is because he's still got Eve's phone. And Ravi sort of talks to him and like, why have you still got that? That's a stupid thing to still have. Once the police get involved, they're going to be tracking that phone. Why have you still got it, you moron? And he basically manages to get out of Nish that he's literally just keeping it. A, to keep tabs on Suki and to see like the text that she's sending to his phone. And B, just to watch her squirm. Like he's kind of just enjoying it. He's a nutter, that man.
That's what Ravi said. I think there's also a bit of arrogance and an underlying thing that you think if he did get caught somehow, all of this with Eve's phone, it'd just drop Ravi in it and be like, well,
oh yeah.
If it's in my house, it must be because of Ravi.
That is the only reason I think that he got Ravi involved in the first place. Like he could have disposed of Eve himself. Like it's not like he hasn't killed before, but he wanted he's put Ravi in charge of getting rid of Eve as basically an insurance claim for himself, hasn't he? Like to make sure that he can wipe himself out of all trouble and all sort of consequences. It's the only reason he's done it. He's a bad man. So there's some drama with the phone this week because Nish temporarily loses the phone and is kind of like in big panic. And it turns out that Avani found it and tried to sell it because she's an entrepreneur.
Well, I
Well,
have a little wondering with that because the first thing
ooh,
Avani said was, "Don't worry, battery was dead. I've not read any messages on it."
why say that? Is that your thinking?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're to be fair, I might be overthinking it, but they might
You
have just been
never.
saying it so that we know. Me never.
Yeah,
So
never.
that we know that she's not checked the messages to tell the audience she's not
Yeah.
she's not
She's
read
not
it.
checked the messages. Yeah. That might
Or
have
was
been
she
all it
saying
was.
it because she has actually
Because
read
she
the
has.
messages?
Well, I mean, she is a bit like her mother, and her mother's quite happy
Mm.
to walk into a kitchen and see a letter that's meant for somebody else and just open it because that sounds like a laugh. So she might have done that. She
And,
might have done it.
and you're telling me Ivani couldn't find a phone charger for that phone and charge it out
Exactly.
of curiosity or something? I don't know.
So
Possibly her and
suspicious.
Priya might, because like if Priya found out that it was actually Eve as well, then she could got
Hmm.
something else to go to Suki with. I don't know.
We'll
Just a
see.
little
Watch this space, you
ponder,
think?
ponder,
Watch his
ponderment,
pondiment? Yeah, we'll go for a pondiment. That's definitely
ponderment.
the word.
Mm.
That's definitely the word. So yes, maybe watch this space with what Ivani does or doesn't know, we think. Meanwhile, so the phone's found and Nish goes, right, fine, okay, I get it. That freaked me out. Ravi, you need to get rid of it. And Ravi, I quite enjoyed Ravi's attempt to get rid of the phone. So he takes it into the kitchen of Walford East, knocks a jug off the table for no reason whatsoever, and then goes at it with like a meat cleaver. And
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest here. That phone didn't look too bad after the meat cleaver attack. How many of us have dropped our phones a few inches off a desk or a table and it smashes into oblivion on the floor?
Yeah.
This phone is made it's like a re-entry shield. It's absolutely fine. It kind of the screen's a bit smashed, but I think they could still get the evidence that they need out of it if they needed to. So has he got rid of it or is that enough? I don't think it's going to be
Don't
enough.
know. I don't know. I mean, it would. I mean, just lob it in a bin or something. It would have
I
probably.
mean, surely that would be the sensible thing
I
to
bet
do.
Vinny
Like,
could fix that. I bet Vinny
I
could
bet he
fix that.
couldn't.
Ooh, maybe
Ooh,
Suki might come across it and get Vinny to. Ooh, if
maybe.
he's not hidden it, because we didn't see where he chucked it.
No,
I
we
think we're
didn't see.
supposed
Well,
to
he
think
hasn't
he's got
chucked
rid of
it.
it.
Well, you'd think that would be the sensible thing to do, but I don't because I don't really know why he destroyed. I mean, I get why he went at it with a meat cleaver. I guess both because he was getting frustrated and the fact that he clearly in his mind, right. So if I destroy it, then that's all that needs to happen here. But the fact that we didn't see him actually get rid of the phone makes me think that phone is going to be relevant later on.
Yeah, so
Yes, we'll
potentially.
see. We shall see. Suki is kind of getting worried and suspicious and goes to Stacey. I am enjoying the Suki and Stacey scenes. I like them. I think these two work really, really well together. It's nice because they have had the kind of roller coaster of a relationship, really, if you look at their history together. And Suki at one point thinks Stacey has just talked Eve out of going off with her. And Stacey's like, yeah, what I have. I might have done. Yeah, good. Hope I did. Hope I did.
I thought the opposite. I thought Stacey tried to imply that, well, maybe you finally listened to me because I'm not your biggest
that's
fan.
what I mean.
But
Yeah.
Suki, but I thought Suki was like, nah,
Doesn't believe it.
Nah.
Well, by the end of the week, Stacey is worried because she realizes that this isn't like Eve to just completely disappear with no contact whatsoever. Like, why wouldn't she talk to Stacey? You know, it's not like they fell out or anything. They left on very, very good terms.
Why wouldn't
so
she at least
yeah,
check on kids and see how kids are doing?
yeah, exactly. So, especially the place where Stacey was when Eve was supposed to have disappeared was straight after the court hearing. So you'd think that she would at least check in on Stacey. So it all feels a little bit strange and uncomfortable. So she goes to Jack and says, right, so I need your help in finding Eve because something's going on here. And Jack, obviously, because Stacey flosses her eyelashes, is like, yeah, I'm on that, not a problem whatsoever.
I can't have you being worried about.
No, we can't have Stacey Slater upset, can we? I'm a Branning. We must keep you happy, Stacey. So watch the space between those two. Go on.
Well, before she goes to Jack, she goes to Suki, doesn't she, to say, do you think there's any way that Nish might have done something? And Suki's like, oh no, he's acting the exact same as usual. I'd 100% know if Nish had anything
I mean,
to do with it.
To be fair, he is acting pretty much the same as usual, isn't he? But do you think? I wonder if maybe a few seeds were planted at that moment in Suki's head, as to maybe she hadn't considered that Nish knew up to that point, but maybe Stacey saying that to her is going to make her a little bit more aware of watching what Nish is actually doing. Because she says that Nish would have basically locked her in a room if he'd known about this, but maybe she's now going to start thinking, oh, actually, do you know? Like, why has Eve just completely disappeared? And you're acting like this. So I wonder if, because Suki's not stupid, so I do wonder if this is going to start some cogs whirring.
That's what made me so sad. Like, how was Suki not seen that there's something going on with Nish? But yeah, maybe, and like I said, maybe Ivani will have read the messages. I don't know, or
Maybe
because Suki was out of the room when they came in with the phone. I think there's going to be some relevance as to why Ivani took that phone. Sure.
Okay. I don't know. I just think that it was enough to kind of set Nish's mind into panic mode a little bit and sort of relinquish his control a little bit. Because, as I say, well, the phone could have gone missing and this could have gone a lot worse. I don't know. I'm inclined to think that Ivani hasn't actually read those messages, but I might be wrong. It'll surprise you, but I have been wrong before.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Never, Ree. You're never wrong. So I'm wrong on the side, but you're never wrong. So I think it's probably quite right. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, we haven't got long. So when Suki finds out, which she inevitably will, she's going to go absolutely mad on Nish, isn't she? Is this going to be the point of no return for Suki and Nish? Is she going to go that one step too far and kill Nish, and then he's going to be on the floor Christmas Day?
Will she be able to? He's meant to be this big tough guy. Is Suki going to finally just go, do you know what? I've
flanked by the other 5.
20 years with it, whatever. In fact, surely longer than 20 years. 30 years, sorry, with the stuff out on him.
Yeah.
Possibly.
We shall have to wait and see, but it's very exciting. Right then, ladies and gents, let's move on to the next story. The sexual chemistry between Jack and Stacey is becoming more and more evident this week, I feel. And the little scene where they, because Jack was babysitting for baby Charlie XCX this week, and Stacey passed him a blanket or something, and their hands touched. We had that little shot of them looking at each other, go, oh, our hands touched. Oh, when is their affair starting, Ree? When do you think? Next week? The week after? Soon?
Yeah, soon. Very imminently, isn't it? Because it's in time for Christmas Day.
Well, what I've realised,
one-off.
Yeah, well, Stacey's tradition tends to be that she'll get laid on Christmas Day with someone she's not supposed to, and then she'll witness someone dying. That tends to be Stacey's Christmas, all tied up into one, doesn't it?
Oh, well, that's nice for her. At least she knows what she's having every year.
I know, it's turkey, sex, and death. That's Stacey's Christmas normally, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. So Denise has returned early. Hurrah! We missed Denise. I didn't realise how long she'd been away. She's been gone ages. That's quite a holiday.
I didn't realise it were a few months, but I knew she'd been gone a while. Yeah.
I mean, it's flown by, obviously. Big
things coming.
But it's nice to see her again. So she returns, unaware of the fact that Sam is currently sat at her kitchen table and been sleeping on her sofa. So she's somewhat unimpressed to see that. She doesn't know anything. This is the thing. Jack's told her absolutely nothing. So she doesn't know that Sam's back, for a start. Didn't know that Sam was staying at her house. So she's unimpressed to see that. And then just as Jack is just about right into that, he takes her for lunch. This was a thing that kind of annoyed me. Like, she was like, well, where can we possibly go for lunch? In the whole of London. Oh, let's go there. Like, they never leave the square. I know this is not
it peed me off because...
It's a soap thing. I know it's a soap thing because they never leave the street on Coronation Street either, but it's sort of like, you're in London. You could go anywhere. But no, let's go to that pie and mash shop on our doorstep.
Jack made that comment, didn't he? Like, because we can't go anywhere.
We can't go to Orford East.
Can we?
We can't go to that restaurant.
Well,
that's
it. That's it.
I guess it's part of, that's it. We've exhausted the entire supply of restaurants in the whole of London. We can only go to that pie and mash shop just there. So there you go. And in said pie and mash shop, I know. It's a soap thing, but honestly,
we know. It's annoying.
In the pie and mash shop, she discovers that Dean is back as well. So that doesn't exactly give her a whole load of smiles either. She is not pleased to see Dean whatsoever.
I can't actually remember how things were left between Denise and Dean. They mentioned, didn't they, that at first she was sticking up for him, and then obviously she realised they were lying.
There obviously is history between Dean and Chelsea, so that hasn't exactly done Dean any favours. And obviously, Denise is fully aware of what Dean did to Linda. We get a nice scene between Denise and Linda later on in the Vic, where Denise is basically like, "Are you okay? Because your rapist is just down the road." So she is spectacularly unimpressed to see him, and she's just sort of just really annoyed that Jack is keeping all these secrets from her. And I wonder if that is, sort of again planting these seeds in Denise's mind. This marriage isn't working. We already know that Jack's eyes wandering, and Jack's clearly kind of having second thoughts about Denise. So is that feeling reciprocated, do you think?
Well, it's starting to look like it, isn't it? Especially with him having Sam come and stay.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one though for me, because Denise did technically cheat on Jack earlier this year, which I think that's where all the troubles have started from. Though, let's be honest, that don't mean that. Oh well, I'm allowed to have an affair back then, so it's even. But
well, that will probably be Jack's logic if and when she gets caught out. I mean, so there's also a scene between Denise and Ravi this week. It's nothing overly mad, but I think Jack sees it from across the square, and basically Ravi's just needling at Denise. And Denise says, "I have no interest in Ravi whatsoever. We are done. I don't have any interest in the Panesars. I don't have any interest in Ravi." So they're constantly having to sort of reassure each other that everything's fine, and it has been that way ever since the affair between Denise and Ravi. So this is what I mean. It's there's no trust in that relationship whatsoever. So in some ways, it's actually quite a realistic sort of disintegration of a marriage that we're watching here. Like the trust has been obliterated between them, and they're sort of swimming against the tide in order to try and make it work. And we know that you can swim against the tide, but you can't swim against a tsunami. So that's
good one.
Their way. I know. I don't know where that came from.
Where did that come from?
I've no idea. The wordsmith of my brain, I tell you. So obviously Sam is. Go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say. I think. Obviously, we know this affair's coming, but I think Jack it's not just about the marriage, is it? It's about the kids that they've got together. Like, obviously, Raymond's there, Amy in particular, who relies on Denise a lot. And Ricky. So I think that's why Jack's like, I think they're both clinging on to that, to be honest, because they have got a little family set up. But
ironically, none of them are kids that they have had together. It's just each other's kids that they've sort of created this family around.
Yeah. But Denise just runs off to Kim's, like, drop her a hat. So I don't know. Is that really?
Again, it's not like she's prepared to actually sit. Yeah, it's kind of like, right, you deal with Sam. I'm going to Kim's. I can't deal with this. So it's sort of like how much effort is actually being put in both ways from them, because Jack could have informed Denise while she was on holiday. It's all very well to sit around and say, "Oh, well, I didn't want to ruin your holiday." What, this 2-month exertion that she'd had? I'm sure she could have coped with a phone call saying, "Sam's back and Dean's back," just to let you know. So
I agree, and I kind of understood the Dean thing, but then it was like, then when he took it to a place that he's running, I was like, well, why wouldn't you then say to it, "Oh, you might not want to go there"? But I need to tell you. We're going to wait until lunch, otherwise we ain't got anywhere else that we could possibly eat in the entire London.
Exactly. Oh, honestly. So obviously, as we said in the Suki story discussion, Stacey goes to Jack at the end of the week to try and finds Eve, and again, it's that sort of. That it's there, isn't it? Like all week they're sort of giving each other the eyeball and sort of smiling at each other and the little hand touch thing. So, I mean, what do we reckon? Do you think like it'll happen before Christmas Day, or do you reckon like it'll happen in Christmas week? I think those two. I don't know how, but it'll happen. Just in the run up to it, because Jack has been put on the suspect list. We may as well talk about it now. So the official suspect list for who might be on the floor has apparently been officially revealed. It has been narrowed down to 7 men who could be on the floor. That lineup is Keanu, Dean, Phil, Jack, Nish, Ravi, and Rocky. Now, some of those, non-surprising, no Theo. So I guess that's done. I guess that's done. I guess
that he's not been released on bail then, Theo. Is that what we're supposed to think?
I don't know. It's just surprising not to see him on there after the build that we've had to it, unless they're doing a kind of thing where Theo's not on the list, but it will end up being Theo, which I don't think.
Nah, surely it's got to be one of them. If they've released it, it's got to be one of those 7.
The fact that they've stuck Jack and Phil on there,
I think it's Jack. I think it's Jack. Really? Yeah, because it'd be such a big shock.
But it would, because it's kind of like, why is Jack suddenly on there? It's sort of like...
I said it a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, seeing people online saying it, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Phil...
Surely not.
The thing
Phil.
is,
it would be a shock.
It would be a shock, but the thing is with Phil, it's unsurprising to see him there because it's the sort of storyline that Phil always finds himself in. Like, oh, Phil might die. It's like, of course he's not going to die.
Who done
Phil.
it? Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think it's the sort of exit that would be suitable for Phil. I think if Phil was ever to leave, he needs his own kind of big story to leave, rather than just. And to be fair, at the moment, none of those women have a reason to kill Phil. So why is he on the list?
Just be Keanu,
why is he on?
Keanu and Phil maybe having a little.
So why has Phil been put on the list, other than the fact that he's Phil and it kind of suits him being
because there? Do you remember there were spoiler? There were some photos leaked of Sharon and Keanu's wedding, and on one of those photos, Phil was wearing the amber cufflinks. I think is just a massive red herring, because for him to let a photo like that slip him wearing cufflinks, unless he is wearing them on day and then he gives them back to someone.
Well, he's got the cufflinks at the minute, but I can't see it being Phil. Obviously, in all of the individual promos that have been released, they're all wearing the cufflinks. Obviously, and people are literally grasping at anything now. Oh, Rocky's touching his cufflinks. That must mean it's him. You know, it's Jack's jacket is open and everyone else is wearing and everyone else is closed. It must be Jack. You know, it's someone jumping on all of these little anything, grasping at anything to try and make some sense out about what's actually coming. I
thought, right? Do you know what I find a little odd? That I must say, probably me overanalyzing. Who would have thought it?
Never.
Rocky looks a bit like he's been superimposed in. Like, oh look, spoiler. It looks like, oh, we've all found out Rocky's leaving. Should we just shove him on suspect list then? Because it don't make sense that there's 6 women but 7 men to me. So I almost feel like he's been added on.
This is the other thing. I find it really kind of surprising that there's 7 men and 6 women.
Yeah.
Now this to me opens up the possibility still that there's a 7th woman still to be revealed. And Eve. I find it, Eve or Anna. I find it very odd that Anna has had. This is going properly meta. I get this, but like a lot of the 6 have had like days in the lives released on Instagram. You know, basically where you just follow the actors around for the day, and it's all very nice, sort of behind the scenes type thing. It's like, hi, this is me in my dressing room. This is me filming. This is me giving another co-star some banter. You know, it's all very lovely.
Balvinda Circle's one, by the way.
It was great fun. You know, they loved each other to bits on that show, and it's really nice to watch. However, you've had one release for Gillian Tailforth. You've had one release for Lacey Turner. You've had one release for Balvinda Sopel. Someone else has had one, haven't they? One of the other 6 has had one, I'm sure. But the point is, people of the 6 have been having one, and then Anna's had one done, and it's kind of like, why Anna? Like, don't get me wrong, lovely to watch Molly go around and do her day, but why was Molly's put out when all the 6 are having them done as well? It just seems a little bit odd.
Let's see if we have any more from the rest of the 6, because we've not had a Letitia Dean one.
No.
We've not had a Diane Parrish one, I don't think. No, we've not.
I don't think so, no.
Who else have we not had there?
No, I can't think off the top of my head. But do you know what I mean? That's my point. It's kind of just
Kelly Bright's done one.
Kelly Bright's, that's the one. Kelly Bright's done one as well.
Yes, only 2 of the 6. They've not done one.
So why has Anna done one? Yeah, so why has Molly had one? It's all very sort of like...
Interesting.
It's there's something going on. There is something going on, and I just think it's odd that there's 7 men, especially just to throw Phil in there. Like, if we don't believe that Phil's going to die, then why is there 7? Like, Phil doesn't need to be there at the moment.
Well, so if Anna's involved, who would it be out of the 7 men? Dean, I guess. That's the only one.
I mean, it's not long till we find out. Mere speculation. I mean, I know that's all it is. I mean, we haven't got long to find out. It's so soon, like a couple of weeks, and we will finally know. But
is it kind of sad that I'm really looking forward to Christmas Day because of EastEnders?
I'd say
well done, EastEnders.
Although
that's what I'm waiting for. I know it's my daughter's 2nd Christmas, and I'm actually
screw
excited.
That. She'll have others. She'll have others. It'll be fine. She won't even know. She'll be in bed by the time. EastEnders is on. Frankly, so will I.
Oh yeah.
What to 10 it's on? That's ridiculous. It's not going to finish.
I normally be in bed. I've got to stay up late.
I know it's not going to be done till nearly gone 11.
Are they going to be swearing at least?
I hope so. I hope so. That would be quite good.
Oh,
There
I
won't
hope
be.
there is there.
I hope there is, but there won't be. But it's all very exciting. So I guess we shall have to wait and see what the relevance of there being 7 men is. Is there a 7th woman to be revealed? Let us know in the comments section. The theories are going to go insane over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be picking up every single little bit of crumb that we can to try and make sense of what is going to happen on Christmas Day. I cannot wait. Very exciting. On to Sonia and Reiss now, and they are on the very precipice of having the final jab. It seems like, I mean, again, this kind of thing kind of goes over my head slightly. I've been led to believe that this is now, their last kind of injection, the last time that they're going to have to do this before Sonia will potentially become pregnant, because the drugs that she's been having have worked. Stuff's happened inside Sonia, and everything's fine.
There'd be another few stages left yet, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically everything is going
it's the final
according to plan.
injection with the sounds of it. But then they'd need to. The IVF, of course, means that the embryo would be created in the lab, and then so they'd have to make sure the embryo survives. Yes. They've got all that bit to go through, yeah.
And then Reiss needs to go make a deposit. We were reliably informed this week he's going to take a gardening magazine. Honestly, when he was talking about these gardening magazines, I thought it was going to imply that he fancied Charlie Dimmock or something like that.
I didn't click to that at all.
Well, no, it didn't go there at all. It was just, I just take a gardening magazine to relax me. I like to read about chrysanthemums before I have a, so it's, yeah.
Well, I must admit, when he said, "Oh, do you not think I should save my supplies for tomorrow?" I did think maybe you should actually.
I don't know if it quite works like that. Okay. I don't think so. I think it can you can go the day after.
Do it twice.
Yeah. Even if you've got even if you've got, and I quote, lazy swimmers. I don't think they're that lazy. They're like, they come to the next day and they're like, no, I can't be arsed. No, don't.
I did this yesterday.
I did this yesterday. You having a laugh? No. What do I look like? Anyway. So all is going well, it would transpire. Everything's fine, and they're all happy and excited. Sonia's talking about a Christmas miracle. Everything's going fine, and as soon as anybody goes on about a Christmas miracle in EastEnders, it's about to go horrifically wrong. Reiss receives a phone call from the hospital. He has to rush there. Debbie has contracted pneumonia, which is not great. What is going on with Debbie? God knows, but it's infection. She's been infected. It's an infection, basically. Her her condition has meant that she's become she's more immune. She's more sort of open to infections. So she's now contracted. That's the one. So she's now contracted pneumonia, which isn't great for someone in her position. Now, does she die? Does she wake up? What's going on?
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm laughing. Hilarious. When he
pneumonia for a laugh.
Why I'm laughing?
Why are you laughing at pneumonia, Ree? Why are you laughing? Pneumonia's not funny, Ree.
When he came back from the hospital,
I
don't know why. When they were like, "Oh, she's dead," and Kathy and Sonia were internally clapping and applauding.
Sonia basically said, "I kind of hope she dies," to be honest. Which do you know what though? I get it. I sort of get you kind of get it from Sonia's perspective, don't you? Like the fact that Kathy went, well, every cloud. It's like
they are in limbo, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I were half expecting him to walk in and be like, I waiting for him to go, she's actually woken up.
She's actually woken up, yeah.
The pneumonia, this infection's made her wake up.
It's got worse.
Or something.
It's like the situation has got worse. So
she's not going to wake up. Why are they killing her off now?
I don't know. But I don't know if they are killing her off. The thing is, with this, Chris Clenshaw has come out and said that he is enjoying the fact that nobody really knows what's going on with this story. He's loving the fact that everyone's not quite sure what to make of Reiss. We don't know whether he's a good guy. We don't know whether he's a villain. What he has said, he is saying, I am being very tight-lipped about what is to come with Reiss, but stuff is to come with Reiss. So that's all we really know at the moment. We know nothing at the moment, basically, and that's the way that they want it. They want us to be this confused about Reiss, and they want us to be this confused about the Debbie storyline. And let me tell you, we are. It's working, so well done. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it. I don't know whether I want Debbie to wake up or whether I want Debbie to die. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, though. I don't know in terms of the story. I don't know which way I want it to go. I don't know whether. I don't think I want Reiss to be a villain. I know I don't want that.
I don't want that, but I think it'd be much better if she woke up. It'd be more interesting.
Well, it would be more interesting, but
dynamic.
I don't know. I really, really don't know. Because all of this comes before, Sonia and Reiss are about to have like an evening together. And what I really liked was the fact that Sonia came downstairs in like this long white dressing gown, which I'm assuming was like Sonia's version of sexy lingerie. Like this flowing white robe coming out like as if she'd just risen from a lake. She looked like scattering rose petals everywhere. Worked for me. Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Well, whatever floats your boat, Rob.
Whatever floats your boat. We'll find out more, I'm assuming, with this next week. I hope we finally get some answers about where this story is actually going this week. But apparently it's all going according to plan in the eyes of Chris Clenshaw as to how confused we all are with Reiss. So that's good. I mean, I like the fact that there's so many questions about it because I have no idea where it's going, which is a nice feeling with the story, isn't it?
Interesting. Well, if he had this secret life with Debbie before, has he got another secret life? And when he's saying he's going to the hospital, is he even going to the hospital? Is he going to his third partner?
Oh, do you know what? Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe. Who knows?
Nah. Well, who knows? We don't know. But I'm wondering, are they just gonna?
What if he wanders off on Christmas Day? What if he wanders off on Christmas Day and we follow him and he does go to this other family, and he's got kids going, "Hey, Daddy's back."
He's already got kids, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Oh. Didn't he live with Sonia there?
He does live with Sonia, but he goes to the hospital fairly often. And Sonia goes to the hospital.
That, didn't she?
Yeah, Sonia goes to the hospisptal with him sometimes, but she doesn't go with him all the time.
No, not all the
time.
But
at the same time, it's not like he's there overnight or anything. It's not like he disappears overnight. I don't think, is it? So.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
I don't think he does. So if he's got another family that's like doesn't know about any of this life, he wouldn't be able to just kind of flit in and out. He's a tuba player, for God's sake. He's not like he could like say, "Oh, I'm away on business." So, I don't know. I've no idea. I'm very excited to find out, but I've no idea where it's going. There we are then. Right, ladies and gents, next story. 'Tis the season for a Christmas comedy storyline. Yes, so Elaine and Yolanda are at loggerheads for the Christmas community choir. And this is, I think, this year's kind of comedy, light-hearted storyline, which is fine. I've nothing against a comedy storyline as long as it's actually funny. And this actually looks to be like, I mean, Yolanda is a great comedy character, so I'm quite happy for Yolanda to have a feud with someone. I've been wanting this since she arrived, and Elaine is a fair enough competitor for her. So basically, they're in a rivalry about Elaine kind of trying to take over this Christmas community choir thing. Yeah, because the Knights were sort of left in charge of like turning the lights on in the square and everything. So Elaine obviously has gone into massive overdrive with this and wanted like a choir there and all sorts of kind of man entertainment there. The choir kind of gets taken away to go to a care home instead. So Yolanda comes up with the idea, well, let's just do a community choir then. Let's sort out a lovely little service at Christmas that everyone can be involved with, and let's all have a nice sing-song. Elaine likes that idea and immediately tries to take over. I mean, again, it's nothing too much to discuss at this point, but I just kind of quite liked it. No matter what your feelings are on Elaine, and I know you're not the biggest Elaine fan, but I think Elaine and Yolanda together might be quite fun,
Yeah, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Like
it's a bit of fun.
We need a bit of fun chucked for this Christmas, don't
we? Are. It's going to get dark this Christmas, so I think like Yolanda is needed. Elaine
is there going to be any? Is there going to be any relevance to the choir on Christmas Day? Or
no, I don't think so.
A bit of light-hearted fun.
Yeah, I think it's just a fluffy little Christmas story. They do this every year. They had the panto one year. They had, they've done choirs before. It's just a little bit of fun in it. And so Yolanda does not like Elaine, it transpires, which I quite like. And we had another mention this week, by the way, of the Albert Square group chat, which we've not had mentioned for a while.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, interesting.
I want to see the EastEnders, the Albert Square group chats. I want to see what gets spilled in there, who bitches about who. I want to know who's in it, who's not allowed in it.
Do you have admins?
Yeah. Who's in charge of it?
I bet
Sonia will be in charge. Sonia's in charge of it for sure.
She were able to invite Yolanda like that.
Yeah. Sonia's the one in charge.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think Sonia's definitely kind of like the key admin of it, though.
I feel like Linda could be an admin, maybe.
Yeah. Who do you think's in charge of the? What kind of drama do you think goes on in the Albert Square group chat? I'd like to know. I think it'd be interesting to kind of see. They could release that as like a nice little Easter egg at Christmas, couldn't they?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Oh.
So yeah, this community choir thing, basically Yolanda is trying to get people signed up for it. Elaine takes over and is basically offering free drinks for anyone that signs up for it. So it's just going to be a nice little bit of rivalry between Yolanda and Elaine, and it'll all be some nice fluffy fun. There we go then, because it's Christmas and we need a laugh, because God knows the other storylines aren't going to be making us laugh all too much. On to the big story of the week now. We knew Karen was on her way out. We weren't sure how it was going to happen. But we've not only lost Karen, we appear to have lost Mitch as well as Bailey, Mac, and Mia, which, you know, the kids weren't exactly prominent on screen, so that's kind of feels understandable. But losing Mitch, I think, is a shame, if I'm honest. We didn't know it was going to happen. There's been nothing 100% confirmed that Mitch has gone, but the fact that they left with Julia's theme would suggest otherwise, wouldn't it?
He can't come back as well. He's run off with Phil's money. So
well,
if he does come back, he's equally is in it now. People are going to assume that he knew it, sure.
And there's not really any reason for him to come back, is there? Because he's got his kids with him. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless he comes back with Bailey because she wants to go back to school or something.
Oh, why?
Nah, I think he's gone.
He's gone. He's gone. Great shame. So the suspicions are kind of rife at the start of the week because Karen is splashing the cash a little bit too much. She's sort of buying big breakfasts in the Vic, and she's bought, I think it's Max, some new trainers. Yeah. So, and this doesn't go unnoticed by Phil, who's sort of like looking and going, where's she getting all that money from? But he's not really got anything to base it on until Mitch accidentally crashes into the back of Harvey's taxi. And this is very kind of obviously bad news for the taxi company. So Kat's kind of like, well, you're paying for that then, thanks very much. And Mitch is sort of like, well, this is the last thing we need. Marvellous.
So that didn't make sense to me. What do they do when someone goes on holiday for a week? Well, it was losing all that trade.
Oh yeah, but it's the fact that but they could get someone else to drive the taxi if in that case, couldn't they? But this is a taxi that's off the road.
I thought that were his car. It was Harvey's car, weren't it? Isn't that just his own car?
No, I think no, because they bought like a fleet of taxis, didn't they?
Oh right.
They've all got superheroes on the back, if you remember, for Raymond.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So Kat's like, well, you're paying for that then. So then Karen kind of hands over $2,000 to Kat and go, it's out of Gray's child maintenance money, which I'm not entirely sure that Gray's even sending to them, but never mind. From prison. Like, where's Gray going to get child maintenance money from? But never mind. So possibly for that reason, Kat's like, where did you get that from? So he goes to Phil and says that she has handed him this money. And Phil is kind of puts two and two together. It's like, where has she got all of this money from? So then checks
in 50s
all the
as
notes
well.
In 50s. So he kind of checks the notes.
Changed it to 20s. It's so obvious.
Or even just put it in a bank account and said, I'll do a transfer. But Phil, it transpires, has marked all of his money, which is such a Phil thing to do. I mean, to be fair, so much smart thinking, and he's got a little torch. He's got a little torch to find out to see what his money is and what it isn't his money. I mean, at the start, I was kind of just like, why have you marked all your money? But then I suppose it does make sense, really, doesn't it? Like, you need to know if you live the sort of lifestyle that Phil leaves, then you need to sort of keep track of all your cash and sort of find out where it's going and everything. So it does make sense. And he was running a money laundering business at one point. So it does all sort of kind of make sense. But he quite quickly is kind of like, well, is this actually what I think it is? Did she do the kidnapping? This is insane. So he gets Sam involved. Now, Sam, instant detective. Like, if I need anything finding out, turns out all you need to go is turn to Sam. Because Sam can quite quickly go online and social media quickly.
I'll have you know, a lot of women can do some serious social media stalking like that.
Fair,
it's not
fair.
hard.
Oh, all right, fair enough then.
That's probably what. Yeah.
But she goes straight to Malcolm's Facebook page and sees a picture of Albie on bonfire night, which basically proves that Albie wasn't exactly kidnapped on bonfire night when they all thought he was being held ransom somewhere.
And obviously, none of the rest of the Taylors have got Uncle Malcolm on Facebook or anything and saw this picture themselves.
Wow. Yes. I mean,
until Sam's gone snooping for someone to notice it.
It's but then I sort of think it's not like Malcolm knew what was going on, so there's no reason why he wouldn't have put that picture on there. And I'll be something
Yeah,
like
no,
him
I
looking time with a
agree with
sparkler.
that.
Yeah.
But you'd have thought maybe Bernie might have got him as a friend on Facebook and seen picture, or even
Oh,
Karen
that's true,
and go, "Can you take the picture down?" Because that's like right bait, like
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Bit clumsy that no one else has got him added.
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I suppose. But then, how many? Yeah, but then you're sort of looking at like how popular are the Taylors? How much? Like, why would any of the Mitchells, apart from, oh, mind you, Sharon would. Yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
just
Yeah,
think one of the like Bernie might have had Malcolm added on Facebook and seen it herself, and she would have found
yeah,
out sooner or something.
yeah, maybe. But either way, Phil finds this picture and is sort of like, right, well, the only proof I need now is to find actually where she's hiding the cash. So he goes, looks in the arches, there's nothing in there. And then he goes to the Taylors, and we get what I have to say was Felix's best episode so far. I loved this. So he answers the door dressed as Tara, and we just get this great scene between Phil and Tara Masu. I want more. I want more scenes between Phil and Felix because they are just the antithesis of each other, and it's really fun to see Phil in situations like that. Like when he helped Kim give birth. It really kind of opens it up to comedy, and the two of them are so separate from each other. There's no similarities there whatsoever, and it looks like when Felix is in Tara mode, he doesn't give a toss. Like he's kind of like, yeah, you're gonna mess with the drag queen, baby, are you? Like flirts with him and everything. It's hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, it was.
I want more.
It'll not happen again, though, Rob. Come on.
I'd like to say, I think sometimes what happens is that they'll look at two actors on screen and be like, oh, actually, that's interesting, that works. So maybe they'll come back to it again in the future, but for some reason, I don't know. It'll be fun to see. There we are. We'll have to wait and see. But so Phil isn't allowed in the house because Tara says no, which fair enough. So he sends Tommy in instead, and Tommy eventually finds the money under Karen's bed. So that results in Phil storming over to the Vic, where Sharon has them all gathered, and the truth comes out. It's kind of, and Karen is left kind of working out what to do. Now after this, I wanted to put Keanu's head through a wall, because he basically throws Karen under the bus. I was furious. Like, I get why he did it, but at the same time, he did it with no hesitation whatsoever. I just expected Karen to be fine with that. Evil.
Well, he kind of did. Then saw Karen's reaction and saw that she were going to let him do it, and then went for it, didn't he?
But I think. But he instantly turned around and said, like, Mum, how could you? And by then he's committed. True. He's committed to it, isn't he? Like from there, it's all on Karen's reaction, and because Karen is a slightly better person than Keanu in that regard, he's in terms of family commitment.
Yeah,
he kind of goes
loyalty.
Yeah, that's the one. She kind of goes, yeah, well, yeah, I did. Keanu knew nothing about it. Mitch knew nothing about it. Bernie knew nothing about it. It was all on me. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. So she gets a good slap from Sharon.
Oh, wow, brilliant.
Good slap. By this point, I kind of wanted Karen to escape, and I wanted her to get off with the money. I've got to be honest, I did. I really wanted her to sort of just like kind of leave, finger up to all of them, and just go off with Phil's 50 grand and just go off and have a happy life somewhere. That's what I wanted.
I just wanted Keanu to get found out, and I think Phil's going to suss it, and then it's going to turn into a battle of Phil trying to convince Sharon, but also he's got to be careful because Keanu knows his secret, doesn't he, about Emma?
Yes, but then there's a lot of secrets kind of waiting to be unearthed between that group of characters. Bernie now knows what's gone on as well, and Bernie basically at the end of the week is saying to Keanu, "Yeah, you're dead to me. All right, like we aren't brother and sister now. Goodbye." So is Bernie going to be the one to reveal it?
I loved seeing some Bernie scenes this week.
Yeah, again, yeah.
I'm glad how good Bernie is. She's really
Bernie is great. Bernie, yeah, she's great, and I hope that we get some more stuff with Bernie. The fact that she's been left behind is good. That bodes well, because Bernie is a fantastic community character for a start, and whenever she gets some proper material to do, Claire Norris always delivers. So I hope she gets some more material in the future. But we get what we want. Well, I get what did you want? Did you want Karen to escape with the money, or did you want her to be arrested and kind of like taken away?
I didn't want her to be arrested. I just want Keanu to be found out. That's all I really wanted from it.
He will be by Christmas. All will be out in the open, which is exciting. But then we turn to Mitch, who kind of realizes that the woman he loves is basically about to disappear out of his life. You know, sort of Harvey and Rocky kind of put these seeds in his head, like, you were about to lose her, you know
fish
this.
and chips.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, do you know what? Yes, we are. So he runs into the Taylor's house just as Karen's about to leave and just kisses her, and it's all romantic. And the pair of them, to Julia's theme, leave with the kids in the back. And they ripped Chantal's tree out of the ground, which I quite liked. Just ripped it out of the soil.
That won't be going through customs, will it?
No, can you take a tree in customs? I don't think you can. I don't think that's a very easy thing to do, is it? No. But yeah, I've got to say, I thought it was a great exit for Karen. I thought it really worked. It did really well in sort of establishing that sort of loyalty that Karen's always had to her family, that sort of lioness mother role. But also kind of gives this woman who's always been really down on her luck. This is a woman who has forever sort of had, you know, a chest freezer at the back of her flat with like all the frozen food in it, so that she doesn't have to spend that much money. You know, she's always been down on her luck. So the fact that Karen is now allowed to kind of run off with 50 grand of money to a brand new life in Spain with the man that she adores, with her kids in the back and a tree in the back, I quite like that for Karen. I think it's a good exit for her.
Yeah, none of her kids, but yeah.
No, none of her kids. Yeah, that's true. But she can start again. She can start a brand new life with these young kids, and I think she can be happy. So good for Karen.
I think we were starting to like hate Karen. We found out that she was leaving, and we were like, "Oh, now they're trying to make us hate her." They've turned it around and redeemed it and made it all happen in a very believable Karen kind of way. Yeah, actually,
I think so.
And because they've obviously thought, how is she going to leave two of her kids behind on Square? Because Karen wouldn't do that. And Chad and Riley, of course, as well, wherever they're living.
We're never going to hear about them again. So
no, we're nice to see them for 5 minutes other day.
Briefly, but it was nice. I was pleased with Karen's exit. I think it's a shame, but I'm glad that she got that a really good exit, which gave Lorraine Stanley plenty to kind of sink her teeth into. That was nice. Same with Roger Griffiths. I think Mitch has been such a wasted potential. I really do, because I think Roger Griffiths is a really, really strong actor. So it's a shame.
They both had some really good scenes as well this week. This always happens when characters are leaving as well. I know. It's really annoying, actually.
They give them the best of themselves, and then they bugger off.
They're not dead.
They're not dead.
They've not been killed off.
No.
So they could come back down the line, perhaps.
Fingers crossed, I hope. So where does this leave Keanu now, do you think?
Well, like you say, Bernie's hating him. Felix is going to know. Surely Bernie's going to confide in Felix about it because he already knows half of it.
Yeah, because he found the money. So how is he going to...
So maybe we will have some more Felix and Phil scenes. Oh,
that suits me.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Gold star this week, Ree? What do you reckon?
Karen, gotta be.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I'm giving it to Karen.
Yeah.
Because I was just gonna say one of the last times we'll be able to do it. And I thought she did really well with Lorraine Stanley this week. Like, such a shame. So yeah. Karen.
2 gold stars for Karen this week. Right, ladies and gents, we have had quite a bit of news this week. And we've got a lot of comments to read from theories for the 6th storyline and where that's all going to go. So let's get on with the news and the comments. Right, ladies and gents, we've got quite a bit of news this week, and first and foremost is the fact that we've got a returning character. Sausage surprise, Johnny Carter's on his way back, ladies and gents. We have had a confirmation that Mick and Linda's adored son has been living and working in Manchester for the past 5 years after relocating north. In January 2018, Charlie Suff will take on the role as Johnny, who returns in the not-too-distant future. Charlie Suff? Charlie Soof? So anyway, no. Charlie trained at the Bristol Old Vic and has worked on stage and in short films. Chris Clenshaw has said, "I am delighted to welcome Charlie Soof to the role of Johnny Carter. Although we haven't seen Johnny on the square in almost 5 years, his character remains linked to the show and its most iconic venue, the Queen Vic. Since his short time away, the Carter family dynamics have changed significantly. They are not half. And it's safe to say that Johnny will be returning to a very different Walford than the one he left." Now, this is quite interesting because I was always quite a big Johnny fan. Obviously,
You've never made it clear to me before.
Oh, I was. Obviously, Johnny's most iconic storyline was when he came out to Mick. That was quite early on in Johnny's life. And then he sort of didn't really do a massive amount. But I tell you what, I can already feel the hackles of the Ballum fans being sharpened, the talons, because obviously he had a one-night stand with Ben at one point. Now, Ben and Johnny became quite close. Ben and Johnny did become quite close, especially around the time of Paul's death, and then
I forgot about all that.
Yes, and then he had a one night stand with Ben. So is this a risk to Ballum? Do we think? Do you reckon this is where this might be going?
Possibly, yes. I was going to say hope so, but I don't really want there to be more. Ballum struggles. If I'm honest with you, it'd be nice to just see him getting on. Actually, if anything, I just want to see more of Callum. Be interesting if he ends up.
What if he went off with Callum
instead? Give Callum something.
They'd be quite well suited, in all fairness. I can feel the sulphur coming from the Ballum fans already, but sorry, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, Johnny's coming back, and I'm going to be pleased to see Johnny in his third incantation. He's almost getting up there with Ben, the amount of actors that have played him. But this is lovely.
It's cursed? His role might be cursed or something. Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see what happens. That's exciting. The other piece of news is that Angela Winter has been cast in Doctor Who. Now, I'm a big Whovian. I love myself some Doctor Who. And she's going to be playing the grandma of the next companion. She's going to be called Cherry Sunday. And now I've said that out loud, I get it, Cherry Sunday. That's quite funny. But it has been confirmed that the EastEnders team and the Doctor Who teams will be working together in order to make sure that Yolanda can stay on the square and also appear in Doctor Who as well. So that's nice. And I love that for Angela Winter. She deserves to be everywhere. She's a great actress. And I am delighted that she's going to be in two of my favourite shows. I love that. Go me, I love that.
Is there a companion Doctor Who's mate?
Yeah, the one that goes on the TARDIS with them. So she's going to be playing.
Oh right.
Yes, but not.
So like Bradley Walsh was the granddad of a companion.
Yeah, but she's not going to be going on the TARDIS. She's sort of like the the grandma of the new companion. So that's
okay.
Yeah. So that's
because it's got what's she called? Millie Gibson.
Who used to play Kelly in Coronation Street. Yeah, so it's soap actors everywhere in Doctor Who at the moment, and so they should be. There we are then. Yeah. So that's exciting. Have you got any comments to read, Ree?
I do. I'm going to start off with one from our Instagram page from Amanda Roberts, who says, I think the Stacey Jack storyline is silly. Can't they be close and supportive without the likely jumping into bed that's going to happen? Rolling emoji.
No, they can't.
I agree with Amanda, to be honest. Now that I'm seeing it playing out, I kind of get it, but it does feel a little bit forced, if I'm quite honest. Like, yeah, does it? I don't know. It's just a bit. Stacey's having an affair with a Branning man. Yeah. It'd be nice for him to just be platonic and get on for the sake of.
I'm telling you, this is all to bring Max back. That's the only reason it's happening, is to give Max something else to react to when he inevitably returns. I'm telling you, he's coming back.
Yeah,
but then it also it's also quite a big, the reason this is happening is to put Jack in the suspect list for the floor on Christmas Day as well. Because I think it's really interesting that Theo is now no longer on the list and Jack apparently has taken his place. There is a picture of all of the suspects and all of the six together. And the positioning of everybody is interesting. Jack is right on the end next to Stacey. He's not next to Denise, who is down the other end of the line. Now, all the other women have their man sort of next to them in the pictures, not Jack and Denise. They are separated.
Who's Denise stood next to?
Ravi, yeah.
Right, interesting.
But I think it's just interesting that that's where Jack is in comparison to everybody else.
Well, kick off if Stacey's...
But why would Stacey...
kick off this quickly, within 2 weeks. Interesting.
Oh, what is going on? Right, on to some emails. Megan Hockin has said, hi, Rob and Ray. Love the podcast. Would love to hear your thoughts next week on all the yellow clues that have been dropping into recent weeks. A potential seventh and maybe even the killer. So, Megan has attached some pictures. One was of a yellow knife. Now, I did mention the knife, you remember. When we were talking about the Nish and Eve scenes last week when they were in the kitchen, all the knives were lined up. And there was the coloured knife for each woman. And there was a yellow one as well. She's also pointed out yellow on the bunting in the Vic, a yellow balloon, which was when they put all those balloons up. There was balloons of different colours. All of the 6 colours were on these balloons, including a yellow one. And even a yellow stripe on Suki's rainbow kimono. Speaking of Suki and Eve, I can't help but think it isn't a coincidence that the yellow in the examples is often right next to the blue and the red. In the knife examples, I know this is so people go so in depth with this. My brain doesn't work this way.
No,
In the knife
can't
example, specifically, blue and yellow are either side of the big knife, which could be the body. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get how people land on these.
You know what? And if you're right, like, fair play to everyone involved actually figuring it out.
Yeah, right. My current theory is that yellow is Eve and that she's going to return to the square and kill to protect Suki. My theory will probably change next week, but there we are. The only other person who I associate with yellow is Anna, as she was wearing a yellow dress in the Night's trailer. But that feels a bit random. But then, do you know what, Megan? So does the rest of it.
No,
you could well be right.
Anna's been wearing a yellow jumper this week as well.
She
so
has.
You may have a point there.
Yeah. Let's keep an eye on. Let's keep an eye on Anna and the color of yellow. I mean,
I'm going to admit to you that the yellow stripe on the kimono might be clutching at straws just a little bit on that one.
I don't know though. So you're looking at this picture of the kimonos. All the colors are there. All the colors are there.
Interesting.
And the knife thing was interesting. Even I noticed the knife thing, so that must be deliberate if that was put up there. The balloons I didn't notice, but again, possible. I mean, this is the thing. People have been spotting all year about what colours the Six are wearing throughout the year in what scenes. My brain just doesn't work like that.
No, but unfortunately mine doesn't either.
No, but people have been jumping on all these theories. So yeah, it's who knows. I think keep an eye on Anna. I'm telling you. I think you're right there, Megan. Keep an eye on Anna. Next email, my lovely.
Next email is from Jake Canham, who says, "Hi, Rob and Ree. I am obsessed with your podcast and cannot wait to listen to it every single week as I clean out my guinea pigs." Thank you, Jake. Just wanted to email, as recently I have been noticing that not only are the Six interacting, but also the potential suspects for the floor. Rocky is still in debt to Nish, and Nish knows about him starting the fire. Obviously, Ravi and Nish have the whole Eve saga bonding them together. Phil and Keanu have the Albie father situation. Ravi and Jack have tension, and minor spoiler alert, Nino. I've seen a little something that may be coming up with Keanu and Dean. What are your thoughts on this? And do you think any of it will come into play on Christmas Day?
Well, I think inevitably it will come into play on Christmas Day. I think this is now just all about looking at the men's relationships to all of the different women. Now, Nish has got a lot going on with some of the women. So that is why I think Nish is top of the suspect list.
Maybe Nish will find out about Keanu.
Yeah, maybe. And then that will... Again, I think it's always really important to remember that even though it's been packaged like this, I don't think it's been ever officially confirmed that one of the Six is actually the killer.
I agree. I don't think it's one of the Six.
And I think there's very deliberate reason for that. So, it's driving me mad.
Well, what's this spoiler that Jake's on about, though, with Keanu and Dean? I don't see how they're going to cross paths, to be honest.
No, I don't see why they would, but it does. I have seen that there is some clashing to go on between Keanu. Yeah. So I think Nish gets involved somewhere on the line as well. So it's all happening. It's all happening in these next few weeks. Rachel Troutman has emailed us to say, my theory is that George will be on the floor Christmas Day and Kat will be the murderer. And if it's not George, then Vinny will be killed in a case of mistaken identity. Now, I picked George because when he moved onto the square, he seemed too good to be true. Plus, I just didn't see the actor sticking around for very long. But here we are in December, and he's not really done anything that would warrant being murdered, unless it's accidental, which is possible. As soon as I saw Kat's wedding dress, I knew she was involved as well. Why is iconic Kat Slater not a part of this storyline? I think she'll be wearing a yellow dress. I also think Anna, here we go again, is involved simply because the last few days in the life of EastEnders Instagram page included Lacey, Gillian Kelly, and Molly. Surely that cannot be a coincidence. The only thing I am sure at is that Ravi, Jack, and especially Martin cannot be on the floor Christmas Day because I will ugly cry if that happens. I mean,
some actual reason then why they could be up for.
No, just because it will upset Rachel, and quite right too. Yeah. I agree with that reasoning, Rachel. I will ugly cry too. People are cottoning on to the Anna thing. I think Anna might be one to keep an eye on. I think it's interesting with Anna and Gina that Gina is kind of traditionally the more fiery one, who, if you were to say who could be a killer out of those two, you would automatically think Gina, but Anna is kind of more quiet, more sort of circumstances. Anyone is a killer in the right circumstances. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, thank you for all your theories. Keep them coming. We'd love to see if anyone actually lands correctly on the right theory as to when it happens on Christmas Day. Very exciting. If you'd like to send us your theories and you'd like to send us your thoughts, your comments, your questions, you can do it by doing the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Instagram and Twitter at E20 After Dark. Like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Albert Square After Dark, and find us on all your favourite podcast sites. And drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Boom! Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, we'll have a normal schedule next week, and we'll be back same time next week. It would be nice. Thanks very much, because it really puts Reiss' day out of whack.
Or a bit of notice. Just a bit of notice would be nice.
That'd be great. So we'll be back same time next week. Until then, it is goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Bye.